the wall walk. We wanna feel this in our arms, and we wanna feel this in our midline. We aren't gonna feel the burning sensation in our midline. That will be for the shoulders, but our midline will have to recruit and be on maximally to make sure we don't overload the low back and to give the shoulders durability and longevity if there's a lot of wall walks in a workout, or maybe we're just fatigued from earlier in the week. Now let's go through the step-by-step process of how we feel like we can be successful being upside down in such a physically tasking movement. Now, number one is finding a solid up dog position where we're gonna go ahead and be up. And this is a great time to ask yourself, is the midline tight, right? If we feel like we're just arching our back, right, and we're loose, that is our cue that we're not really controlling the midline, right? Hips should be high, abs should be tight. Now from here, we're gonna go into a full pike position. This is where you need to go ahead and think about durability tip with the arms. Number one, pushing through the ground aggressively. It should be like an extended plank, which you should have done a few when you went to warm up. And from this position, we're getting a good stretch from the hamstrings and we're trying to reach the butt up as high as we can, giving us that first sensation of being upside down. Then from here, we're gonna go and step both feet up. So we're in that, you see it, an extended plank position, but feet are on the wall, hands are on the ground. And we're gonna practice pushing the ground away as hard as we can. Now this is where a lot of us, this is good enough. And we're just practicing going up and down and hitting those positions, finding solid tension points. The next stage is to walk our hands one step back on both and then going back to our setup position. Coach is gonna show. And the goal in this is to ask ourselves, can we add a little bit of movement, still be solid with that extension through the shoulders and being strong and having our midline controlled. As you can tell, when her hands move back, her feet mimic that stutter step as well. Now, coach is getting after it. She's like, I'm gonna get my workout in today. The next stage after that is just to continue the steps and try and get our hands as close to the wall to where our nose can touch and try to make sure that nothing else in the body brushes onto the wall. If your thighs touch the wall, that's your cue that you're letting your midline go, right? Amy's doing a great job. You're touching and you come back out. Now, here's the biggest thing. You want to make sure you only bring your feet up as far as you can, that you can come controlled down. A lot of times people go all the way up and then they get there and they find out, I'm not really under control. And they just end up collapsing or they kind of fall off to the side. So if this is your first time wall walking, or you're worried that, wow, this is a lot of reps and I think I want to do the amount that is stated in the workout and I don't want to adjust, maybe you do quarter or half or 3/4 reps, not going all the way, and build up that muscular endurance. That is super important because the down is just as important, if anything, more important than the up. Now, this is the last durability tip. There are no try hard tips really with wall walks because you gotta do them well. The last durability tip is on the way down, you need to make sure your midline stays crunched and on, because it seems to be when people start to walk down, they magically let their midline go, they arch, and then you find a lot of pressure into the low back. And then when you do that, there's a very nuanced, some people find it sudden shift into their arms, and they have then no control over their hips and their legs, or they lose a significant amount to where then it feels like it's just frantic coming down. So Amy's gonna go ahead and go up. When she gets to the top, she's gonna relax really quick so you can kind of see what that looks like, right? She's relaxing. Oh, see, everything kind of flops, things occur. She's gonna try to regain that crunch, and then she's gonna hold this crunch really hard as she walks out, because that's gonna connect and keep your shoulders to your hips and vice versa. Good luck.